Welcome back to Classroom. My name is Mr. Wong. Today we'll be going through the 2016 HSC Physics paper, question 25 with 5 marks. This is going to help answer Module 5, Inquiry Question 3. So let's get started. We have two teams carrying out an independent experiment with the purpose of investigating Newton's law of universal gravitation. Each team used the same procedure to accurately measure the gravitational force acting between two spherical masses over a range of distances. The following graphs show the data collected by each team. We have Team A here, and we have Team B down here. What you can notice is they're measuring in terms of the forces. You can see in terms of the distances that Team A goes from about 0.4 to about 2.2. And then for Team B, they go from 0.4 to about 0.48-ish. So their range is a lot smaller than Team A. I'll enlarge the screen so you can sort of see that difference. You can see that range. Okay. Let's go back to the question. Compare qualitatively, so using words, the relationship between force and distance in the graphs. Okay, so looking at the graph, we can see that as distance increases, force decreases. So that would mean that they are inversely proportional. Okay. We can see that same relationship here as well. So according to the graph, as distance increases, the force decreases. Okay. This would imply that distance and force are inversely proportional to each other. Okay. But what we can see also by comparing the two teams is with Team A's one, we see an exponential decay in the relationship between force and distance, while as Team B, it looks like a linear decay. So that's another thing we can also mention. So Team A sees an exponential decay in force as distance increases, while as Team B sees a linear decay, or linear decrease if you want, in force as distance increases. So that's the difference there. One is exponential, one is linear. Assess the appropriateness of Team A's data and Team B's data in achieving the purpose of the experiment. So I would say that Team A's data is more appropriate than Team B. So this is my judgment here. So that's the judgment. Now the reasoning being, as we said before, Team A has a bigger range, right? So Team A's data has a larger range of distances used. And in which case, if you have a greater range of data, you have a clearer, demonstration of the relationship. So with a greater range of data, you'll know whether or not you're seeing a clear pattern in between. With a really small range of data, you're really creating a more hypothetical scenario that doesn't quite reflect all the possible data points. Okay, so large range of distances used. This gives the results a greater confidence in validity and reliability in comparison to team B, who has a smaller data range, hence their results are less conclusive. Okay, so in this question, we are looking at the appropriateness of Team A's data and Team B data in achieving the experiment. If we look at it, there's an argument for either. If you have a look, Team A has a bigger range, but they only have 4 data sets used. Now, if you recall, to have a valid relationship on a graph, we would at least go with 5 data points. That gives us a bit better sort of understanding, and we can sort of highlight any errors potentially. Team B has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 data points, but as you can see, that data range is very small. So again, we can't really get very conclusive evidence because the range is very small. So it really comes down to which one you think is appropriate. So Team A is more appropriate in my eyes at the very least than Team B because the range of data used is greater. However, Team B has more data sets used than Team A. So if that was the case, then we could probably say with confidence that A is not valid or can't give you a sufficient valid relationship because we don't have enough data points, and B is not sufficient enough because the range is just too small. Hence, both are insufficient in providing a valid relationship for this experiment. For these reasons. Now, some of you might say then, if they're both invalid, then could we just say both are inappropriate? You can, for sure, because you are providing a judgment, and you're providing your reasoning here. All I'm saying is, I'm still saying that both are insufficient in providing a valid relationship, but A would be more appropriate in the sense that you have a better range of the data sets you have. Okay, that's not to say that A is perfect though. All right, so hopefully that gives you a good understanding of how to go through analysis questions on looking at graphs, looking at appropriateness of data, and trying to work out relationships between the data sets. If you did, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm Mr. Wong. I'll see you next time.